Hi, friends. Take a look at that. It says final day trial, so we know this is the last day. Of course, it has to be because trials can only be done in 3 days, according to the recent rules of the court. So let's get to the bottom of this. Let's finish strong. Will Powers is not guilty, but maybe we'll find a little bit about the truth of what really happened that day, and, if we're lucky, about what happened 5 years ago. Let's begin. I see once again we're not wasting time in the defendant's lobby. The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Are you, Edgeworth? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for the case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in Studio 2, in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss Dee Vasquez to the stand. Miss Dee Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Well, I get to see her right away. Wonderful. Let's get to it then. Will the witness state her name and occupation? Dee Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. For some reason, I can't say that phrase. As everyone here knows, yes. I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That is all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it must be risky to walk, what with the monkey's head toppling over. I see. Okay, well that's clearly important. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Final boss. And where exactly was that? Oh, sorry, when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4, and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I would think it was between those times. You would think. Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Alright, we already cleared that one up. This is the murder time, so let's see what she has to say about this. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops. It was a 15-minute break. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal? No, I mean someone else. One person is enough. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proves she didn't eat that steak... Well, Nick, find anything? I kinda wish she said a little more. It's hard, I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said, somewhere. Yeah, there is a problem. I guess? Okay, this is the problem. And we've been having this problem throughout the entirety of every single investigation time. I kept looking at it. There's a problem here. I don't have the exact evidence, but I have connecting evidence, and I'm going to use that. Again, I'm trying to take my time, try to get you guys to think about it too, and see if you can solve it. But this is my evidence. And the music cut proves that it's right. Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate. This plate was on the table of the employee's room. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manila ate at a table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Ms. Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too! 'Cause you're a monster! No. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. I see. Then what was Ms. Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She's picking on Salmonella. She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order. Are you saying... Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. She definitely doesn't seem happy about this accusation. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick! Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I think she could. But let's see where else we can go with this. I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. Huh. You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? I won the battle of wits! First round! What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. Is it the samurai spear itself and how it's not bloody? Or is it the thing that I want to show right now? Because I know the punchline. I present my proof. The so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Order, order. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I am the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're... are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed? Okay, now I get to show the other piece of evidence that I wanted to show. Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? I can tell you. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then. Happy to oblige, Your Honor. Look at this photo. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer sitting at the top of the stairs. Order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is all this about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What? Are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago? Has happened again. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 on the day of the murder. Miss Dee Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my scriptwriting staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found in Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer, all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? She could move it. Unless I need to say that specifically she had another way to move it. Sometimes the logic or the wording isn't great. She could move it and hide it until then. Let's go with she had another way. Okay, yeah, that is what I wanted to do. What if she had another way to carry the body other than with her own hands? For instance... Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. Ms. Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1. And you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There's a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Sal Manella who drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? That's the question, isn't it? I'm actually not entirely sure. I don't remember whether he was or not. So I'm based on the fact that he would do anything for her. He was a conspirator, but did he know? Or did she trick him? But both plates didn't have the steak on them. He said he didn't get to eat. I'm gonna say yeah. Of course, Sal Manella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Ms. Vasquez could have done that alone. Okay, so yeah. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. So he was in on it. He was... Yeah, okay. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? So what happens next? Don't me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean... Dee Vasquez, so it was you? You killed Jack Hammer. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. And the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? Order. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course it says the witness says. Certainly it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you have no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? You did it! The only ammo that I have is testimony and cross-examination. I'd like you to testify again. Testify again? You know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers, a waste of time. To come so far, only to fail. As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez. Edgeworth? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. Wow, I think he's pulling something from my playbook there. The bluff, the objection bluff, the bluffing to the max. I see, very well. Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I choose the little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about? Well, yes, Edgeworth, I appreciate you being on my side and all. I don't think he quite knows how to do that. Indeed, verily, I say, ergo... Yes, use more fancy words. That will help you. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Nick, why did Edgeworth... Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that... Edgeworth. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Found the body. Press every statement. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 o'clock for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manila arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Press, press, press! Where were the other employees when you got into the studio? They weren't there yet. Well... Then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy? The witness will continue her testimony. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember. Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm. You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Keep pressing. Wait a second. Wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at a location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers. Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez. You may continue. What was everyone else doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then silence, dead silence. Silent. Just like that. Hey, Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. Old bag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right, the Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. Don't think there's anything there I can use. Right, this is the problem. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting. There was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you, or covered it up for you? There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. Yeah, are we not going to talk about that direct threat? The script and your direction notes? Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio 1 for rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder, after all. Ha ha! Who could think of rehearsing after that? I got you. Oh yeah, I guess. Very well. Miss Vasquez, please continue. Or Edgeworth's got you, apparently. Really, Nick? That's okay. It's fine. Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio 1. Thank you, Edgeworth, because clearly Nick didn't pick up on that. Did you guys pick up on it? Let me know in the comments. I don't ever ask for comments in these videos. Order, order. Mr. Edgeworth. What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. I'm sorry? How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, the director. You have to find something to take this on, or everything we've done up till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him. Yeah, there's a problem here. There's a very clear problem here. I think it's the photo? I think it's the photo.
Objection!
You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes. Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in the photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why do you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? Why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right. He must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez. You saw Hammer limping. You didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah, and when was he doing this? Well, it would have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in the Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. We got her. Order, order. I will have order. Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death, nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there's a reason, it is unclear to this court. I think I have an idea. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? I mean, if you mean with evidence? I mean, there is that picture. Okay, I have proof, and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder.
Take that!
This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With Dee Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, Dee Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed Dee Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, Please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder. Play along at home. She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? What? Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dee Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. So, you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance! There's blood everywhere! We're too late! Ah, Miss Vasquez! What? What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs! Manuel! Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No, no! How could this... It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez! No! Please, please don't die. Please. She's so calm. It's the calmest criminal ending ever. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. Mr. Edgeworth, where's Dee Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. I thank you, Your Honor. Can't help. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. Yay! That is all. Court is adjourned. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Ms. Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Oh shoot, do I have evidence? Oh, wait. Is it what I think it is? Was he jealous? Let's show some evidence. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids' show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, And so he hated you. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP! Oh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... isn't it... Is something wrong? No, of course not. Nick Edgeworth! Should I thank you now for what you did for me back there? Because that was really cool of you. The evil eyes, though, not really... What's up, buddy? Say something, Wright. I'm not good at small talk. Uh-huh. What? That was too bad, Edgeworth? You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Yeah, pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Mr. Wright, is this guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals! Right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me! What's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtain closes on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids shows again. Nick! This is it! The new show starts today! You're going to watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy the trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Powers. The end. Sorry about that. I always get nervous at the end whenever it's like, oh, show this piece of evidence, because I don't get another chance. It's not like a strike and then retry. It's like, oh, you gotta do this right. So I'm gonna save and I'm gonna show the art and talk about the case a little bit. The Steel Samurai is something that will be, referenced. The song, you haven't heard the last of all of that. But yeah, he's a lot of fun. Will Powers is a lot of fun. I knew the punchline of the accident 5 years ago and it happening again. I totally forgot the punchline that Jack Hammer was trying to kill Dee Vasquez until the very end there. So once again, fun playing through it all alongside you guys and discovering new things that I've forgotten. This is a fun case. I like it. It was a lot of running around, but that's, like I said, that's early game stuff. the investigation scenes. You're running around a lot if you don't quite know exactly where you're supposed to go. Sometimes they tell you, hey, go to this particular location. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. They do that a lot more in the later games. They tell you exactly where you should be. And it does help when you go to each place and it starts, showing up the date in the place that you are. That tells you that you're where you're supposed to be. But anyway, yeah, this is all in all, a pretty good case. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the puns, as always. Quirky characters. Miss Oldbag is a ton of fun. Dealing with the kids is unique. And another case of blackmail, I guess, is going on here. Just kind of like the second case of the game. But yeah, it's not one that I come back to a lot. It's not like a favorite of mine. It's just the idea, like the Steel Samurai and Will Powers and all of that, just like the idea of the background, the show and all that is a favorite just because of it just being referenced in other ways throughout the games. But actually, speaking of a favorite case or, something that to go back to, next episode, next case 4, is definitely a favorite case, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one who thinks so. There is so much that I love about this case coming up. It is also, when I first played it, the case that really gave me chills, with certain things kind of freaked me out a little bit when I first played this game. There's a lot of, like, it's not exactly, graphic is not the way to describe it, but, like, there are things, like the photograph of the guy on the fence. Like, I mean, it's very blatant. So it gets a little bit, it gets a little dark and freaks me out a little bit sometimes. There are some cases, in the future, and I'll talk more about them or whatever, that I was almost afraid that I would have some sort of nightmare or whatever. I never got nightmares from this game, don't worry, but it was always enough of intensity, and with the intensity and the music and the sounds, and like I said back in that last episode when Nick was like, "Whoa, what?" When we found out that the samurai lost, it was enough to quicken my pulse and like give me chills and give me like an actual emotional reaction to what's going on, even though I knew the samurai lost. I knew that was a punchline there. I forgot that Jack was the one that was in the samurai costume. For some reason I thought Vasquez was, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, no, all in all, final thoughts for this. It's a fun one. Steel Samurai is great. It pops up later in reference a few times, so you'll see that a little bit to come. And I think that's it. So tune in next time for the start of Turnabout Goodbyes, which is technically the last case of this game, but also technically not the last case. I'll get more into that later. But this is the big one. And well, I'm just really excited to play it because I really, really like this case. So tune in for that. And well, I guess I'll talk to you then.